Girl, pop culture. Pop culture.
No filters, no limits, just gossip. If it's messy, we got it, right? If it's messy, we got it, right?
Welcome back, Pop Culture family. This is another edition of Pop Culture Pod. Let's just call it a Pop Culture Pod because here we're going to have discourses about things that tick me off, things that excite me, and things that make me want to turn into the cat with the gun. All right, stay tuned. In today's pod, we are going to be talking about... This is a tough one for me because it gets me revved up. Let's talk about Porsha Williams and how she is queer adjacent, but she does not want to claim us. Okay, when I say us, I'm talking about the queer ones. If you're not queer or an ally, step to the side. Let's to the left, like Beyonce said. So here we're talking about Porsha Williams and her newfound love in her relationship with this steady over here.
Sway.
So this steady over here is popular. She's built a name for herself. So she's not just riding on Porsha's wave. And I think this relationship has been something that has been going on in the background for quite some time. Because I don't personally, from my experience, I don't personally think that if you are living your life as maybe, I won't say closeted woman, I'll say a curious or a bi-curious individual, you then would get out of a divorce as she was married to Simon. And after that relationship ended, within a couple of months, she was in this public relationship with the steady. So for me, it's just like, I don't know, maybe we're moving so fast in the world that people do not take time to make decisions and do not take time to make their relationships public. Because what was the need?
What was the reason? What was the reason?
This is my discourse about relationships being put out on social media abruptly, and especially relationships that have us questioning, right? Us questioning your intention, us questioning your orientation, us questioning your allegiance to a movement, because queerness is not, and this is one thing I think maybe that differentiates people who have been queer. And I'm not going to put labels of lesbian, gay, butch, whatever. I will just say like steady talking about her partner, and then I'll say queer talking about Porsha, right? Because she's not claiming us. I saw an interview, which I will insert.
Do you even care about labels like lesbian or bisexual, or do you feel like people are just too obsessed with putting you in a box?
So when I first, I don't know, announced that I was dating her or that she was, one of the options. Yeah, at first I was kind of like, okay, everybody's like, are you a lesbian? Are you bisexual? Are you? And I was just like, I don't have a label. Like, I'm just Porsha sexual. I'm just exploring. I am Porsha sexual. Now I'm Swaysxual. I am just very, I'm just very free with myself and exploring different parts of myself.
Yeah.
At this moment, no, I don't mind if you want to call me a lesbian. I don't mind if bisexual is a phrase, but I don't know what comes with that. I'm, kind of new with all that. But I'm not offended by it at all.
Do you feel pressure to define your sexuality now that the public might be watching? Because we see it on social media, but it's a difference when it hits the TV.
Yeah, that's true. I think that a lot of people probably feel pressure to label me. I don't feel pressure to label myself. I know who I am, and I'm just living my life. And I think that if more people just decided to live their life and not trying to find a group or define themselves in a certain way, then, that's probably best. I don't want to be out here putting myself in a box and then, I don't need to be in that box. So.
But you're in the box. That's why they're labeling you.
There are boxes around.
Yeah.
Well, y'all be outside.
I know he going somewhere with this box. Let's get away from the box. Let's come out the box.
Well, that was done.
And in this interview, Porsha is being asked by the Breakfast Club. So Charlamagne's asking about her identity, like in terms of it within the queer space, what she identifies as. And Porsha has the nerve to say, well, she's just kicking, enjoying her life, doing her thing. You know, basically, that's what it gave to me as a listener. And as a queer person, it just gave two zap signs, because we are welcoming people. It's not like we own the keys to the queer gates to heaven. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you're a queer person who has chosen visibility and who has chosen to outright say, I'm queer and this is my preference and this is how I identify, I've had to go through the battle of being with men and then being judged for like living my life in my truth. And we've taken the lashings. We've taken the Bible being thrown at us. We've taken people praying over us. We've taken the conversion therapy. We've taken the curative grapes. We've been activists. We've been in the streets marching at every pride event. We have taken the lashings. And then you find somebody who's adjacent to queerness within the popular space of social media, telling us that, hey, I don't know you guys. I may be bumping purses with one of y'all, but I'm not one of y'all. Do you get what I mean? It's just one of those things that ticks me off about not just only that queer woman who is dating the stud, curious about but their the stud eaten themselves. It's like my identity and who I love about the life I live and the life I see for myself is just a joyride to the next person. Who are out in the open, who are living our lives and being judged about being for me, I've always said that I want to be and protecting our community. I don't think we speak up about protecting our names enough, because we are scared that we're going to be called biphobic or judgmental. Who are you to carry the card to, you know, the gay the gay awards, you know, the feathers, basically. If you're South African, you know, those are like the biggest awards for the gays. Anyway, and our allies. And I don't think we have spoken about it enough and spoke out and called out the studs about their behavior, chasing straight women, and that being like the pinnacle and the top of the totem pole. You know, I feel like in society, there's always the pinnacle and the top of the totem pole. We see this within the Black community as a whole. Black men put lighter or fairer women or more racially ambiguous women. They put non-Black women at the top, be it white women, Mexican, Latina. And that's not to bash these women. I'm just saying. And we find it with white men, they put Asian women or Asian trans or Asian lady boys at the top of the totem pole, right? And then we find within the queer space, butch studs and whatnot would put straight women at the top of their totem pole. We've experienced this. For us who have been in this industry, we've experienced this since we were teenagers, being second guessed and being pushed to the side in favor of straight women or women who claim to be straight. A woman who loves women and who loves queer women, who loves gay women, who prefers gay women. I want to be with a woman whose preference is gay women, and not a woman whose preference is women who are curious and who just want to take you for a test drive while screwing half of the whole city. I don't want that for my life, you know? I don't want that for my life. I don't want to be with a person who's with me just because the next straight woman who's their preference is not available to them. And I feel like I don't think that Porsha understands the plight of queer people, the plight of the gay community, and how we have died. We have died for the rights we have. We have died. We have been tortured and tormented, without getting too dark, for the rights to say, I am loud and proud. So I think even the queer women who are with these women who are still trying to navigate their identity, or women who blatantly would say, I would choose a man over you, but I'm okay with you doing whatever you're doing to me for the fun of it. I blame those studs. I blame you guys. You should be ashamed of yourselves because you are part of the problem. And I'm going to sound like a bitter cat lady, roly-poly on the couch, calling out these sexy women who get chosen by the studs. No, it's not about that. There's a whole lot of queer women who are fine, who are worth it, who take care of themselves, who have hobbies, who have other things besides queerness on their minds, who travel the world, eat at fine dining restaurants. But you guys always want to second guess us and make us play the mammy role. You guys are always chasing something that you cannot get because deep down inside, you actually hate your queerness. You wish that you were a man, so you could have more grasp at all these types of women that you want. I don't think a queer woman who says that beats their chest and says I'm butch and I'm loud and proud actually is proud of themselves if they can go after the straight man's preference. I actually do not. I actually think you have some issues that you need to deal with. And we queer women are always going to be at the back end suffering in silence because, oh no, I don't want to seem like I am biphobic and I am hating on the straight girls. Yeah, speak up. We want to hear you. Speak up for us. Speak up for your people. Because you guys already have all those men to pick from. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there in your corner. Stay there with your blessers and your sugar daddies and your forex trading men, scammers and businessmen and aristocrats. Stay there. You have so much. Guys, you have so many options. The queer community is already small enough. We already, as the femmes who have been in the industry for 10 plus 15, 20 years, are fighting amongst each other, trying to get the next best, sexiest, fittest, smartest, richest stud or femme, whatever you're into. And then you guys come along on your stilettos, wrapping your long legs around the studs. It's like we just can't have any joy, hey? We just can't have any joy. And the same women who won't claim us, but will claim the studs and the butch and will choose adjacents to queerness, but not choose to be allies, will be in rooms with homophobic individuals, especially homophobic straight women, talking about, oh, I love the D. It would never be me. Ew, never. Jeez, I would never be bumping purses with another girl. Ew, sis, gross. I want that real thing. And you would say nothing in defense of the queer community. You would say absolutely nothing in defense of the queer community, but you want to reap the benefits of being with a queer woman. How? Make it make sense. This is exactly the same plight that we face as black and brown people with people of caucasity wanting to be adjacent to blackness but never standing up for us. This has been our life. This has been our life since we entered this realm, this galaxy, this godforsaken land. It's like we already have so many struggles on a daily, then having to deal with these DLs and queer adjacent women who are enjoying the perks of being with a stud, but do not want to stand up and raise their fists in solidarity with our plight. For me, it just blows my mind. I would never be able to lay down with somebody who does not claim solidarity with me, but wants to lay with me. She literally was just like, yeah, we're just doing our thing, king. I'm just trying to figure it. Like, if you were trying to figure out, do that in private. Do not put us in public, because the next thing, you are going to be dating another Nigerian man who's allegedly a scammer. And then what is it going to look like to the straight men who have always told us that queerness could be fixed by the right size D? How do we come back from that when you find another man to elevate you? And then there was this video where she was preaching about anti-queerness, going on about the lesbians and the gays and the... What? I can't even do that without coughing.
Amen. I give all honor to the Lord, my Savior, Jesus Christ. Tonight I'll be speaking on God's helmet of salvation. I'll be coming from the book of Isaiah 59:17. How many of y'all know the day you put that helmet of hope and salvation on, that they won't come to you with that talk? They will no longer curse around you. They will no longer talk about you when you're not around. Because they know what you stand for. You are identifiable. Oh, it's good. Jesus is good.
The devil. Right? How do you not speak up for the people after? How do you first of all not address that video from the church and say, hey, I was struggling with my identity at that point, and my parents are within the church or were within the church, and I felt the pressure to adhere to my parents' rules because of what I come from. Why are you not transparent and sharing your story with other people so that people know that that does happen, that you fall under pressure to be straight or to be straight adjacent because of your background, society, fear of judgment, fear of curative rape, all those things that are the reality of our lives? Why are you not talking about the realities that we face? You have a platform. You have an international... I'm all the way on the other side of the world, but I saw that video. Do you know how much impact your ignorance has, Porsha Williams? Do you actually know? And, on top of the Porsha Williams topic, maybe let's then add another individual who was living a heteronormative life, a straight life, previously married to several men, and was within the church, Niecy Nash Betts. And this is no disrespect to these women, but let's call a spade a spade. At first, Niecy was the same way. She'd be like, my husband.
Now, you say that you didn't really come out, you went within yourself. Is that what you said?
That is what I said, but you called her my wife. I lovingly call her my husband.
Okay.
Okay.
And so, are you her husband too?
No, I'm her wife.
Okay. All right.
That's like discrediting the person's gender, first of all, because now you're moving the fact that they're a woman. My wife. Like for some of us, and for a large number of us who grew queer, who grew up queer, dreamt of the day where we could say, I'm going to ask my wife, I need to go attend to my wife. My wife and I are taking the kids to the park this week. My wife is coming to pick me. My wife, that has been a dream for us. Some of us. And I'm going to need those women who have had that dream and who have made that dream come true to come forward and claim their trophies and claim their medals, because we took the lashings, we took the discrimination. We couldn't hold our partner's hands in public because the taxi, and that's like discrediting the person's gender, first of all, because now you're moving the fact that they're a woman. My wife. Like for some of us, and for a large number of us, calling us all types of names. Coming from a country that has so many cases of violence against women, children, and queer bodies. It took a lot of bravery for us to be in the 2000s holding hands with our partners. Do you get? So for you to discredit it by saying her husband, no, my wife. If that's really your wife and you respect your wife for who they are, they have not transitioned, it's wife. Say it right and mean it. Put some respect on these titles, right? And I'm glad that there's been a transformation. Maybe Porsha needs to take some mentorship from Nisi about identity and education on queer culture and stop brushing off this thing of, I don't know these titles. I don't want to box myself. I don't want to be in these titles. Forget my fake American accent, but I'm just trying to imitate how she speaks. Come forward into the light of, this is real people's lives. These are real issues. We're not trying to claim people who are not trying to claim us. You know what I mean? And we're not trying to do the pity party Olympics, but we have to call a spade a spade. We as queer women, queer adjacent women, allies are tired of people in the public eye wearing queerness like a barrello, something to put on when it gets cold in winter. It's just a jacket, a little nice necklace to add on. We are people who have feelings. We are people who are living real lives. We are people with real life struggles. We are people with stories. We are people with trauma. And if anybody who is within the social media or the media or public eye can just pay some respect where it's due. Stop wearing our identity like a flippin' cloak. Stop. And I'm glad that Nisi and her wife, Jessica Betts, are putting light onto queer love and love, you know. But I feel like more needs to be done by these women who claim to be in love with butch, masculine presenting women. The same thing goes for De'Ara. You know, there's a lot of people who were living a straight life, engaged or married, or had families with straight men, who are now moving to, you know, who they are or who they say they are right now. And they are not in solidarity with queer people. You know what I mean? I love women like the Lilies. Lily speaks about her queerness. She's lived a straight life, but she speaks out and she speaks openly. She attends queer events. The Glamazantes of the world, going to your pride, speaking openly, saying, I know I'm a baddie and I got a fat, you know, patty. Okay, anyway. Those women speak openly about their queerness and they are not scared to take the lashings. Even if the support from big brands does not come, they are willing to build their brands around the people who love and respect them for who they are. And I implore women like Porsha Williams, I implore women like the De'Ara Taylors, to Nisi Nash Betts, pardon me, to speak out more and give voice to us. We are marginalized as queer women. We are marginalized as queer feminine women, more especially. Because for some reason, queerness, or let me say, lesbians, are seen as these masculine, angry, butch women who hate men. Unlike what is now being shown in media as pampered, well taken care of, pedicured, manicured, made up, weaves, long, luscious hair. And not to say like butch women don't take care of themselves, but it's always been this notion that like butch is like this giant fake man, and that's all they see a lesbian as. I've had to go through interactions where when I speak about my identity, either older people or women who are my age who had never met, I've never met a feminine woman who says she's a lesbian, but you're so pretty to be gay. I've heard it all in my years. I've heard it all. And we'd appreciate more feminine presenting women who take care of themselves, who spend money on vacations and BBLs, speaking up about how they identify themselves as a part of this community and taking ownership. We're tired of people coming here and taking the badge of queerness and wearing it for the time being and tossing it out after sort of exposing us. We feel exposed. We feel devalued. We don't feel accounted for. And I don't take what Porsha did in that interview lightly. I take great offense to it. Because it doesn't matter what is said after that as an explanation as to why you say, I'm just kikiing. The fact that somebody asks you a question about your queer identity and immediately after that you make it seem as something that's blasé and irrelevant, then it's going to get clipped. What's going to happen is it's going to get clipped. And when they clip it, that's all we are going to hear. You having fun. That's all queerness is. Fun to you guys. And not real people's lives. That's my ono. Until next time, guys. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn your post notifications on so you can be notified every time we upload. And that's all from me, Popstars. Until the next episode of our Pop Culture Pod. Bye.